Okay, let's see if we can get a little bit of money from the DAX.
Wait. Matron, take them away. Oh.
Hi guys, hope you're well. Going to be looking at the DAX today, and it's following on from a meeting I had with the guys in the squad, and we were kind of having a therapy session over coffee, which is fantastic because we all know Scruffy likes a coffee. But I think the therapy sessions are more important than the technical sessions, and I was really pleased with today's chat because it highlights a number of things, and one of them is the desire to get into trading and the fear and greed of it and all, and how if you're not planning it, it can be, well, let's just say causes more harm than good. And in that, sort of a little salute to Michael, and I said I would do this morning, and I hope you chip in and comment and verify kind of the conversation we had about what I'm about to do, which is price bouncing. Now, price bouncing is, it's a series of orders where you can get in and out of a trade while it's starting to move. And what that means is you'll often see a candle move up, come back, move up, come back, move up, come back, and then go. Well, what we're going to try and do is capitalize on that movement. And you do that through a series of orders, price bouncing. So the chart of choice at the moment is the DAX. Now, you can kind of see it's respecting this level, and it's had a go at this one, and it's been up to there. So I'm quite happy with this. Now, I've already done my bias for it. It's telling me to wait, and I've explained to the guys why I'm waiting at the moment. I do have a couple of others that I can keep an eye on as well. And if you were watching yesterday's video, you'll see I did quite well from a similar situation with the euro, but I was trapped in the FTSE and I had to manage my way out of it, and I ended up with just shy of a 5 for my trouble. But again, that was just management, and it was a little bit about what today's sort of session was all about, because it was really about controlling yourself, not letting your losers get out of hand, and it was happy days. Now, what I'm about to show you or do is a way to control all of that. So just bear with me a second while I just switch on a couple of things. There we go. Right. What we're going to do is I'm going to be mainly looking at a fib. Now, on the 15-minute, you can see there's a fib section there. And that fib lines up lovely with this level and this level that I've put in. And it's starting to break through the fibs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to strip the chart off, and I'm only going to look at the fib levels. Okay. And I'm going to use them as points of attraction and bounce points. Let me just strip everything off, and I'm just going to drop that fib back in. So it's from there to there. And then we're looking at the pivot, which is this. Just drop that into blue because okay. Now what this is doing is it's mapping the chart out in such a way that I'll be able to understand it. Okay. So I'm going to put this onto a 5-minute chart in a moment. And then I'm going to start bouncing off these levels. Okay. So that's there. All right. So that's defined clear points of bounce. And you can see that here. Traction there, traction here, 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 here. And then if it gets through this, it's running up to there. And what I'm going to be working on is section to section. Okay. Simple stuff. All right. So when I come down onto this, I can clearly see what it is that I'm looking at. Now, I can have a series of orders on each one of these levels. So I'll put 5 orders here to go boom, 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 up there. And I will add in as it goes down through this series if I need to. Now, I let pricing come to me. It's just gone at 9:30, giving me a trigger above this candle here because I work on sort of time points as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a series of orders in above that level. Bear with me and I'll get them in now. Okay. In. Just take me a second, guys, because what I'm doing is I'm building up a profile that I can work to. Also, 4 in. Get the last one in. The last one. Okay. So, what I've done is I'm using the candles themselves as trail points. What's that mean? That means in order for me to go into market, it has to break this candle. Now that closed at 9:30, which is the close of my 15-minute candle I was monitoring just prior. What it's doing now is if that breaks in the next 15 minutes, I'm expecting it to start knocking these out. But once it breaks the top of here, I'll let it run. But I'm also going to trail this backwards to get better pricing. Now, once these pricing's in, I'll start looking to have staged orders behind it, just in case I need to get a better price. Basically, what I've done is I always tip into the market very gently. I don't go flat out straight away. So I'll put a small order in, and I can trade up to about £25 a point safely on this. But I want it to self-manage. So not only am I putting a small position in, I'm breaking up that small position as well. And I'm going to see if we can get a little bit of price bouncing by let it run 5 pips, put the order back in, let it run 5 pips, put the order back in. And then when it runs, it'll start naturally knocking the orders out. And then you just have to manage your way through it. Hope that makes sense. Let me run the trade and then I'll come back and I'll kind of try and explain it a little bit easier. Now, if you are a member of the Scruffy Squad, I've actually done it already for you. I've done it twice this morning because I dropped an almighty clanger. I hadn't switched the mic on in this one, so I had to do it again. But there it is there. And the guys know exactly what I'm looking at before this trade has been taken, which is the good thing. No doubt they'll be taking the mick. I'll guarantee that bit. Where was it at? It's indices. No sound. And should we lip read this? Yes, Frankie. We'll do a bit of sign language as well. That's like northern for I screwed up. Sorry. Oh dear. I'm old. Can't win them all, guys. Can't win them all. Right, okay. So what we are going to be doing is you will see this trail backwards. Once it's entered, I'll start looking to get in on these fib lines as well. And then I'll just be running the target to completion. Catch you in a bit. Okay, guys, job's done. Put the fibs in place to use as markers, as you saw. And as you can see, they've worked quite well as stall points and entry exits. And it's actually now stalling on the top level that we put in. So this was quite a good exercise in, well, one discipline. I would have liked the bounces to be better than they were, because often you get like quite a bit of chop and then you can get the bounces. But the principle still worked by dropping down the frames. And there we go. So you can kind of see bounce, 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 bounce. These are all bounce points to get you in and out of trouble. And the idea behind them is you're capitalizing before it moves, and it just saves you trying to manually carve off as you go. And the results, as you can see, are, well, I think they're pretty good. You know, I can live with that for a couple of days. I'm done for the day now. And what you've just seen, the guys knew all about that before that trade was taken. Told them exactly what I was doing, why I was doing it, and then you've sort of seen the how I was going to do it. Because I think the why, a lot of the time in trading, is a lot more important than the how. Whenever sort of guys come into the group and one thing and another, and we discuss this as well, they don't talk to me. They don't interact with the group. And then they kick off because they can't basically put in practice what they think they're seeing. And I say think they see what they're seeing. And what I mean by that is because they haven't asked what is the why, they don't understand the how. And unfortunately, trading is not about the how. It's about the why you're going to trade. What's the deeper trend? What's the price trying to achieve at this moment in time? Is there criteria that you can work with in order to move from one said level to the next said level? And it all hinges on the direction. And the direction hinges on the why. Why is it moving that way in the first place? Is it a technical point from higher up the charts? Is it news driven? Or is it just the new medium, which is price? And again, that's something that was touched on this week in the morning meetings. Because 7-8 years ago, the likes of Twitter didn't exist. Well, not the way that it does today, whereby you can have somebody like Elon Musk, Donald Trump, etc., somebody with high influence and power that can put a tweet out and actually affect the marketplace. That's a new dynamic. So again, it comes back to not the how, but the why. Know why you trade, and you'll find that you're a little bit more successful. And sort of, if we just drop this back a second, it's stalled dead on the level, which is why I set my target at that point. And why was that? Because there's a high probability it'll bounce at that level. So that's the why. Don't over push it. The other part of why did I stage? It's because I don't want to overstress the account. So doing it the way I do it actually increases my risk reward, even though I don't believe in risk reward. I think risk reward is a load of horse shit. Sets you up for a fall, and it always does. And people can argue with me as much as they like, but I do this day in, day out, and I kind of prove to myself, not anybody else, me, that it works for me and that I am right in my own way of looking at it. And if you disagree with it, that's fine. As long as what you're doing works. But if it doesn't work, then you haven't really got any grounds to argue. Not really. So from a trading point of view, keep it simple. Try to understand the bigger picture, and that'll help you with the smaller picture. Simple stuff, guys. Simple stuff. So if you need to find me, or you're interested in the squad or anything that I do drop in the description. You'll find a lot of helpful links there. There is a free Telegram for you to drop into as well. There's no dickheads or sellers allowed in there. It's just free chat. And you'll be nice and safe and speak with like-minded people. Because, like I say, if you're a dickhead, I'll just kick you out. I've got no time for arseholes. And if you're stuck, just contact me. I'm easy found. So as always, guys, trade well, keep your risk managed, but above all, do what you love, and the money will follow. See you all in the next one.